The recording has started.
الله كبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. الله كبير. Again, we are indebted to our Creator for giving us this opportunity, and this is a huge blessing, and we have to understand this, that some people's tongue were up last night, and they went to bed, they didn't wake up, or for one reason or another, they were taken away from this world. And so, but God has given us another chance today. And this chance is to reveal ourselves and understand and get to know God better. And this is a very important thing that I want to emphasize. That's why I emphasize on God's most beautiful names. Okay, and that's why 20-some years ago, or 24 years ago, we changed the phrase Allahu Akbar. Remember, we said this is not God's name, to Allahu Kabir, which is the correct addressing of God. And so that's something that we have to remember, and these are things that we have to hold near and actually feel privileged that God has introduced himself to us. And so we have to exercise this and try to ask God to help us in this manner, that we really need to know who God is, not to project something onto God or have something in our mind which is traditional and things that we learned as children. Most of us, when my age, were bombarded by nonsense, and so we didn't understand who God is. So here what we have to do is we have to understand and ask God to help us in this manner. So one of the attributes of God, that He is appreciative. Okay, so we have to be appreciative and kind, and that means that we have to reciprocate. That we are actually responding to God. Okay, by being appreciative of Him, and everything that we have is provided by Him, and everything that we have is due to His immense generosity. We cannot even understand. Okay, and so we have to direct our thanks and appreciation towards God, and make sure that we do this often, and make sure that we understand this, that this is a godlike quality, that we are actually following the path of God. And again, I warn this, okay, I warn about this, that unappreciativeness and ungratefulness, being an ingrate, is a trait of Satan. So if we are like that, and we think that somehow we can generate things by ourselves, or somehow we can arrange things by ourselves, or somehow we were lucky that we get this and that because, okay, we are exactly following the footsteps of Satan, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we stay from Him. Okay, we avoid Him as much as possible, and sometimes people fall into that trap. Okay? And again, as I said, people that are listening to me, they have a tendency that I'm talking about this. Okay? Believe me, a lot of these things I'm telling you are my own experience in life. Okay? I'm talking to myself. Okay? Some people think I'm judging them. No, I'm judging myself. I'm not judging you. I don't know who you are. Why should I judge you? Okay? I have no idea what you do or who you are. I have no idea. So, let's log off and not listen to this guy. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you, 99% of it is to myself. I'm talking to myself. Okay? I'm going through my own experiences and the consequences that I had to carry because of those wrong decisions that I made. Okay? So the warnings also comes to me too. It's not just to everybody. So if you think that you've done the same thing and that's it, well, that is your problem. Okay, you either want to humbly accept it, or you want to arrogantly say, I don't want to do this, I don't want to listen to this guy. Because he's not giving me good news all the time. Because I'm made it and I'm the elite of the elites. No matter what I do, I'm going to do that. No, I'm not going to say that. Okay? If you're expecting that I'm not going to say that, then you may just log off and go home or something like that. Yeah, but as I said, 99% of the stuff is for myself. And the experiences I had in my life. Okay? And so according to that, that's what I'm doing. So now, there are a lot of inspirations in the world. Okay? God said, for example, He inspired the laws for every vacuum. Okay? There are 7 vacuums on top of our vacuum. I'm sorry, 6 on top of a vacuum, so it makes 7. Okay? And God says He inspired the laws for each one of them. That means the first layer has different laws than the second layer and the third layer. Okay? We may in the future see the effects of those other skies or vacuum. Okay? But at this time we just don't have the knowledge to do that. Okay? So God said that He made them without visible pillars. That's what God said. Okay. So there are invisible pillars there that we cannot fathom yet, we cannot think about. Okay. However, God inspired that. Okay? So every one of these 7 layers, including ours, God says that He spread the matter in the lowest one. The lowest sky. Okay? That's what God tells us. The matter does not exist in the other 6. I don't know what exists in there, I have no idea. Okay? This is not a multiverse. This is not a multiverse. This is the wrong idea I had before. This is not a multiverse. The multiverse goes back to 3681. God says the one who created the 7 skies and the 7 vacuum and matter, isn't He capable of creating the likes of them? And so, we don't know how many of these exist out there. How many of these 7-layer systems exist out there? We have no idea. That's what now our understanding of multiverse is. Okay? So God said that He inspired the laws for every layer of this, and only God knows what kind of laws governing those others. We have no idea. The likes of this that God creates. Okay? So, now God also inspired the honeybees. But what was the inspiration to honeybees? The inspiration with the honeybee is how to make honey. That was the inspiration that God said, and that's His job. That's or her job or whatever, okay? That's the job of the honeybee, to make honey. And then making honey comes from God. That inspiration comes from God. Okay? Honeybee was not responsible to take to go worship God alone. That wasn't his responsibility. Okay? So, what was the inspiration to Moses' mother? Moses' mother's inspiration was to put the baby in a box and throw him into the river. Craziest thing you could do. Okay? The inspiration was to do this, and it's going to bring it back to you. That's what God told Moses' mother. Moses' mother's job was not to warn people about heaven and hell. That inspiration goes only to God's messengers. Okay? So for that we'll go to this chapter, chapter 4. And it says here, We surely inspire, this is 163, chapter 4, verse 163. Okay? We surely inspired you, and we inspired Noah and the prophets after him. And we inspired Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, the tribes, Jesus, Job, Jonah, Aaron, and Solomon. And he gave David the Psalms. Okay, so God singled out David here because David was very dear to God. Okay? So he put Psalms in there, and we enjoy Psalms even today. Okay? Those of us who have no precious in our hearts. Okay? As well as other messengers whom we narrated their history to you previously, and messengers we did not narrate their history to you. And God communicated to Moses verbally. Okay? Now, what is the job? What was the inspiration of God gave? Messenger or bearers of good news as well as warners. That was their job, not to make honeybee. Okay? That was an inspiration. The inspiration that went to the other vacuum was not the inspiration that God gave these people. These people were supposed to be bearers of good news as well as warners. People who are humble, they take the warning. People who are arrogant, they won't. They avoid this. Okay? Then what's the reason for that? So the people will have no excuse for God after receiving all these messages. And God is already helpless. Because God wants to alleviate this excuse on the day of judgment. Oh, we didn't know. Nobody told us about these things. Okay? However, God witnesses what He reveals to you. He reveals it according to His knowledge. The angels witness as well. However, God suffices as a witness. Okay? So this is what goes to the messengers. That's the difference between this and another inspiration that goes to someone else. Inspiration that went to many was different. Inspiration went to many because the inspiration was supposed to be that you are going to have a boy. Not to go and tell people, warn people and give them good news. That wasn't her job because she was not a messenger. Okay? This is how God explains the Quran to people. Okay? And so, according to this, God gives these people certain signs, and I don't know what they are for these other messages or prophets. I have no idea what kind of sign they give. God gave them. Okay? In the case of Daniel, it's supposed to be the lion's den. Okay? But anyway, we don't know. And God says, I did not mention them to you. That's what God tells him. Messengers that were mentioned to you, and we did not mention. But their task was exactly this. He said, we send messengers, there are good news as well as warners. Over and over in the Bible. That's their inspiration. They're supposed to do that. They cannot do it. They cannot quit doing that because somebody doesn't like it. Okay? They think it's directed at them. Okay? Remember what God says about the hypocrites? The hypocrites always think all the calls are against them. Okay? And as I said, and I repeat it again, 99% of this stuff is about myself. Not you. I don't know who you are out there. Okay? It's about myself. The mistakes that I made. Okay, the transgression of God's law that I made. The sins that I committed. And the consequences I have to make in this world and maybe in the hereafter. May God forgive me for that. Okay? It's about myself. It's not about you, because I have no idea who you are. I don't know what your background is or whatever you do. It's irrelevant to me. I'm not your attorney. I'm not Perry Mason. I have no idea. And then, I get an email or something, oh, you're talking about me. Well, Yeah, if it is you, you've done these things, then what you have to do is you have to ask God for forgiveness and repent to it. Like I do. So these are some of the wisdoms in the Quran that I shared with you today. Okay? I'm going to stop here and finish the second Allah will give you. سبحان ربي العظيم وحده لا سبحان ربي الأعلى لا كبير لا كبير سبحان ربي الأعلى لا كبير بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين Okay, let's close this one and open up this. Okay, so I want to share this with you today, and as I said, I was trying my best to do something last night, and I was told it's not time. And so today, about 2 hours ago, 114 twin prime pair. 114 twin prime pair is 4271. And I specifically highlighted 4271 for the reason which becomes evident in the following section. 4271 is the 16th permutation of 2147, the total frequency of harmony in all 7 harmony initial chapters, 4246. Let us look at the following table. 586, prime number is 4271, and is also the index of composite 714. But there is an inherent relation between the prime and the composite in our body. So what is the inherent relation? There it is. Indices 4271, which is the prime number. The prime corresponding to each digit here. The fourth prime is 7, the second prime is 3, the seventh prime is 17, and the first prime is 2. 7 times 3 times 17 times 2 is 714. That means that 427 actually generates 714. Okay, and they're both at index 586. I've been looking for 586 for the past 15 years. I had no idea it was 586. No idea. Hence, these two numbers generate each other. Their common index is 586. However, we have 586 equal to 2 times 293. Remember, recall 2293 from 2 weeks ago. Let's scroll up. It's right here. 341st prime number is 2293. But why choose 341? Here's why. 341 is equal to 11 times 31, and however, the 1131st prime is 9127. We therefore correlate 341 with the fact that chapter 9 has 127 verses. Now let us study the prime number 2293. Remember? 1143rd Gaussian prime is 20,297, and it's also a prime number, and its index is 2293. So look at the inter-index relation in the above table. We see that 341st, which is 2293, lines up with 1143. 1143 is equal to 9 times 127. And recall that 1143 composite is 1362, which is the number of verses from 11 to 9127. We'll scroll down now and look at this a little bit deeper. Okay. Now remember now, 586 is equal to 2 times 293, as we saw. So the index of 2 is 1, and the index of 293 is 62. So we have 162, which is the index of prime number 953, which happens to be the index of composite 1143, and 1143 is equal to 9 times 127. So look at this, the 4271, which was the 114th twin flyweight, okay, actually tells you that 9 is supposed to have 127 verses. Recall from many moons ago, at least many years ago, that the true position of the Hamim in 42.1 is 42.7. So we've known about this for a long time. But now God gives us proof. He said, yes, it is 42.71 if you assume that 9 has 127 verses. Otherwise it won't. See? Because if you add those two false verses, then it would be 42.73. Okay. Anyway, so this is God's way of doing things. So I just wanted to share this with you today. And so God, as I said, reveals things when the time is. Okay? Otherwise you can waste your time, go through things forever, and get some kind of wrong idea about things. And so it won't work that way. If the inspiration comes at the right time, the right place, and God only knows what that time is. So God said in chapter 16, he said, God's command has already been issued, do not rush it. Okay? That's the first verse, which is the 1900th verse of the beginning of the Quran. That 1900th verse of the beginning of the Quran actually tells us it's a commandment. God's command has already been issued, do not rush it. So we should not do it, we have to be patient, and God will put everything in order, into place, into the right place. And when that right place and right time is, then God will do it. It's not us who's doing it. It's not because you're brilliant or something, or IQ is 140. That's not the case. It has nothing to do with that. Or you went to this school or that school. It's something that God does it, and He does it because He wants to give proof to His messengers that yes, what I'm telling you or what He's telling you is the correct thing. And you have to be aware of that. Okay? So I'm going to stop here and we'll do the rest of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.